safe space is a place where Black men learn, heal, thrive, and value the freedom to be. A safe space allows Black men to color outside the lines without judgment, stigmas, biases, or boundaries. A safe space is a place where our Black voices impacts and counts. And here are your hosts, Ty Baker Jr. and Dax Addy.
All right. What up, everybody? Welcome back. What episode are we on today?
I don't know, man. I be losing track. You know what I'm saying? I get carried away in these conversations, and I be like, hey, I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. Want to say welcome back to everybody out there. Once again, we appreciate the love, the support that you guys have been giving us.
Yeah,
sure. It's been such a blessing to be able to come in here every week and to discuss these topics, to get our feelings out, and just to have a real safe space to open up.
Yeah, definitely. I know that, just sitting here talking to some of the guys that we've talked to, their experience in life, getting their stories, actually having points of relations even from me.
Right.
I learned a lot of things. Like, I've actually learned that, from JT, who was here earlier, that if I steal something, sometimes he going to let me go.
Right.
Because he don't want to accept, I could be it could be some violence that day. So he's like, I'll catch him when you're a little bit more calm.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's a good thing, man, for us to sit down and just kind of chat, and get some information at the same time, too.
Yeah.
So it's been a good ride.
Yeah. I was thinking about this episode, and I was like, we need to have a catch-up just between you and me, because I'm like, we started this to create a safe space to have real life topics, real life situations that were going on. But I was like, at the same time, how are we doing mentally, physically, emotionally?
Isn't that the truth?
It hit me a couple weeks ago, man. I forgot what day it was, but I was just going through it.
What are you going through?
Man, that depression hit. All those, crazy thoughts just hit my mind. And I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Ain't that funny how people think that, like, depression stops?
Yeah. Man, you said, yo.
They're like, okay, man, I remember when I was going through depression, I was so down. I was, under the blankets. I had no money. I'm like, bruh, it ain't going to stop.
Yeah.
You're just going to learn how to manage shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's so funny you said that, because I guess in the back of my mind, I was like, we're going to get this podcast started. We're going to start hitting on these topics, and we're going to get it all out, and it's going to be good. And in my mind, I'm like, cool, I'm good to go. Everything's great. Life is good. And then ran right into that wall.
You see, I heard something the other day, and this is I kind of change a few things, right? There was a guy, I think I was listening, there's a whole bunch of podcasts going on. This is in the season of podcasts right now, right? But every so often you get some jewels.
Yeah.
And I think that's God talking directly to me in the season, in the moment that I was in.
Yeah.
And I heard this young guy say this. He said, look, I don't chase goals anymore, okay? I have a set purpose, and I started to think about that,
right.
And because I needed a formula to fight depression in smaller increments that happens again. Because you're going to see it again in a different way.
Right.
You're going to see it, and you're going to always see it. So you have to have tools put in place. As, we're talking to Tyrell. So you got to put certain things in place to help you get through these things, to know that it can come.
Yeah.
These are feelings that are going to happen again. And instead of it being a trigger for a negative response, now, hey, I'm about to go to something where I have to sit still. Nothing's going on, maybe. Maybe I can work on something else, or whatever the case is. Or I set this goal and I didn't achieve it. So now what I expect didn't happen.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, my feelings are triggered again for me to go back into this place.
Yeah.
So I put purpose, because purpose is one that I initiate based upon my doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do, my purpose is to and I back it up with active service. So I don't expect anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any expectations. So if it happens, it's a bonus.
Right. So what are you doing emotionally, mentally, physically to make sure that you can get through the day? Not just the day, because, life isn't just about getting through the day. And I think for myself, sometimes I get stuck in that mood. How can I just get through today? And it's like, damn, is that any way to live life?
I get it.
So what are the steps you're taking? I know you love to work out, but outside of that, what are you doing to make sure that Dax is good? Because when we come in here, we hitting on some heavy stuff.
Yeah, we just talking. We hurt.
Yeah.
We come in here hurt.
Oh, yeah. And I know me, sometimes listening to these conversations, I take on those burdens sometimes, I listen to, the police brutality one. That was a big episode for us. Like I told you when we first started talking about it, I was like, man, I can't wrap my mind around it. I can,
But there are millions of people, hundreds of millions of people who share the same empathy, right? And it's the straight dart to the heart.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are going through. That's what I'm going through with topics like that. But I think that you have to work on your body first. Like for me, just to answer your question, first and foremost, I think when I wake up in the morning, I'm always in the mindset of that's the first bonus.
Yeah.
2, my act of service is that I get to determine what level of happiness I inject into the world. So if I talk global like this, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm in my sexy voice and I got to talk to my wife and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I try to start life with a smile. I think simple things help me. A smile, we're all reflections of energy.
Yeah.
So if I smile at my wife, there's a low possibility she's going to be like mean at me.
Right.
So if I can start that, I try to set, the pace for happiness in everything. That's why I believe in my self-check being active service. And that's done through my 5 senses, see, hear, touch, smell, So if you can actually get to those things, understand that that's what you're made of,
Yeah.
What you see, how you perceive it, what you hear, how you perceive it, what you smell, taste, those are things that make you up, or that's the makeup of who you are. Take that energy, right, and put it out in a positive way. You're always going to get some kind of positive response.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I start that from the moment I wake up. So when I hit y'all with the good morning, hey, have a good day. Hey, I really mean that. I ain't just, I really mean that. What we working on today? You know what I'm saying? And if there's nothing to work on, guess what? Work on you.
Yeah. So it's about having a positive routine.
Yeah, that's it. Always start with that. Go to the gym. Hey, that project that you want to do downstairs, you know what I'm saying? Go start doing that. Like I told you the other day, I'm working on my garage.
Yeah.
I put my music on. Now I look like the old school cat. My little old school situation. I go downstairs and start working on my garage, put my music on. By the time you look right, guess what? God calls me with an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's how life happens. What you can't control, you'll never be able to control. That's it. You're there to creatively think and create service.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah. I want to go back to what I was just saying, a positive routine. I know a lot of times we get stuck in bad routines. Wake up in the morning, man, case of Mondays, but it's Tuesday. You get stuck in that routine. I know me, when I get stuck in that mindset, woo-wee.
Let me ask you this. What if you didn't have a counter? What if you didn't have days? What if you just had sunlight?
Yeah.
Right? What if you didn't have anything that showed you the redundant aspect of life?
Right.
How would you be different?
Oh, be completely different.
Then that's how you need to live.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the way I'm moving now. A lot of people start off with bad routines.
Yeah.
And I know me, I'm trying my hardest to start practicing and getting up in the morning with a good routine.
Yeah.
Obviously with you, we have our group text. We go back and forth. Good morning. How you doing? Sending good affirmations out there. My homeboy, Ray, who you met.
Yeah.
He's now training for a race. And he was like, yo, if you need an accountability partner, I got you.
Yep.
And so now I also got a second person that's having my back.
Yeah.
And before then, like I said, it's just like you waking up in the morning and you got the case of Mondays every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it's like, damn, you still stuck in that same pattern, not even really realizing what you're doing. You just like stuck on autopilot. like a robot, and we talked about that in episode 1, but it's about creating these positive affirmations every single day, creating a positive routine. We talked about, our last episode was on religion, and we didn't really get to hit on some of the stuff I want to talk about, but I recently started going back to church with my wife and kids. And when I say it's been a shift, it's been a positive shift. That's been one of the things that's been helping me, because for a long time, man, I said, screw church. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to say something else, but so my church members might be listening to this episode.
Space. Okay.
But I said, forget that, man. I said, I ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
But between God's grace and other friends and stuff like that, it's been a blessing now. And that's a positive reinforcement that I'm able to lean on it in a positive way. We had Pastor G on last week, and that's someone that I can actually literally press on if I need to talk to, and that's been a positive routine for my life. That's also shifting into my family's life, because when I'm down, it's a crazy effect how it affects it's like a trickle effect. If I start my day off wrong, not saying that it's going to affect everybody else, but my mood will affect everybody else. When I get sick, I'm like a little baby. I'm like the biggest baby in the world. I don't want to be bothered. I want you to just cuddle me and take care of my wife to come and just take care of me. But she's always like, you're bringing the mood down. So just stay in that area, because I don't want to bring the mood down. And I just didn't realize that at the time. And also I'm looking at life now. If I'm constantly moving in a robot mode, wake up, go to work, come home, pick up the kids, bath time, dinner, that's what our life becomes.
Ain't it crazy though? We're not built to be robots, man.
Right.
We have a heart.
Yeah.
We're not. So this whole idea that we have to operate in a robotic setting, right? It's not, that's why we can't do it.
Yeah.
We can't sustain it.
Yeah.
We have to have grace. We have to have understanding, right? And we have to be able to mourn, process, and move on.
Well, go back to what you said, sustaining it.
Yeah, sustaining it, right? But check this out, right? 2 minds are always better than what? Too much power cannot be one person, right? All signs point to we need each other.
Yep.
Okay? So at the end of the day, it is not expected that it's always going to be perfect.
Right.
But it is expected that if you are chasing the same piece, that you'll get your right energy or your starter from somewhere else.
Right. It's crazy that you said that, because when I first, in my career and everything, I'm always like, I can keep going. I can keep doing this. I can sustain this pace. When I got into this career, I was always like, I can sustain these working long hours. I can sustain the depression. I can sustain the hurt. I can sustain the pain, not even really realizing I'm tearing my body up in every aspect, mentally, physically, emotionally, love, everything. And then it just trickles down. You don't want to work out anymore. You don't want to be around anybody. You don't want to talk to anybody. You start eating bad. You start living bad, so you're taking all that in, but it's not just affecting me. It's affecting all the people around me in my circle, because I don't have a positive reinforcement in my life, because I'm thinking, okay, it's normal to wake up every morning and work these 12 to 15-hour days, come home, do it all over again. Like you said, being a robot.
Yeah.
Not having anything else.
Yeah. And that's it. Man, your heart only gets so many pumps in one lifetime. The guarantee is that you can't tell me when that's going to stop.
Right.
Nobody can.
Right.
Right. But what you can do, right, is choose how you're going to start out the blocks.
Yeah.
And the minute you start taking back your life like that, it's the minute you give yourself a chance at happiness and not being in bondage by even the material things in life.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a job, it's okay.
Right.
Whoever told you have to get a job lied.
Yeah.
Right.
Say it again.
I'm going to say it. I say this against everybody because I'm a person that I've lived in the US, I've lived outside of the US, right? And I can tell you right now, half of the stuff you hear on Instagram ain't true.
Right.
They don't black women, white women, half of that. Because guess what? There's so many variables in the world, right? If you go to Australia, there's a different variable of a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to China, there's a different variable of a black man.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. In some ways, our goal is to activate the acts of the heart.
Yeah.
Okay? Because in that moment, when you care, it makes you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key word. Help.
Right.
All this stuff that we built, we leaving it right here.
Yeah.
We leaving it. So
Yeah.
if you look at somebody and you're like, man, I want his life. I want his legacy, right? Let me just tell y'all something about material legacy. Every time your son comes in, it's going to be different than what you experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So the Denali that you wanted, there's going to be a better version.
Yeah.
He's not going to want the Denali that you had.
Yeah.
He's not. And tell you what, he may not even want a car.
Right.
He may want an airplane.
Yep.
So that's the thing. It's okay to have your vice or whatever, in terms of material things and stuff like that. But once you get into this rat race of life,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to get sucked into the material aspect, which can let you down if
Yeah.
you don't have it.
Right.
Which goes back to your point, right? You wake up in the morning, I have to do. Well, you so had to do that you forgot you.
Right.
At the end of the day, this to me, this rut happens as a result of chasing things and pretty much neglecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody was to tell me or come up to me, right, and I asked them to do certain things, right, and they said, look, hey, okay, if I ask you something as simple as, hey, can you run outside and just unlock my car? And you're like, yeah, I'll do it. Do you mind if I stop to the restroom? Take care of yourself first.
Right. Yep.
Take care of yourself first.
Right.
So the overall moral value here is that you can't do anything unless you're okay.
Yeah.
Right. And in order for you to be okay, I can't stress this enough. And I can say this to everybody, right? You got to work on your body and make sure you're okay. Like you're eating right. Okay. When you lay down, you've worked out and done something physically. I ain't saying the other physical activities, but that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Right. But you got to work on yourself and make sure that you're balanced before you start taking on information. Before you take on information, you need some level of a reference board, whether that be religion
Mm-hmm.
or a mentor.
Right.
And I would say both.
Exactly.
Because you need something as a hard source, paper source, and you need somebody with the experience to say, hey, man, I know the lay of the land. I'm not saying you have to do it my way, but here are some, I can tell you there are going to be some for sure bumps here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is how we handled it in 56 versus 2023.
Right.
So now you're at least aware of certain things. That allows you to adjust somewhat or recalibrate your motor skills, right? To have expectations, right? Or what I call safe expectations.
Mm-hmm.
This is not emotional expectations,
Right.
safe expectations. You said this could happen. We know, okay, great. We're somewhat prepared for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those two things, right, out of the way, people walk into life. Life is so big, so broad. All of these topics that we covered, right? One mentors were missing. People were missing.
Mm-hmm.
Reference boards were missing.
Yeah.
No Bible, no mentor, right? No peace.
Yeah.
How you going to achieve anything? You're going to have to put certain things in place.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key word here, right?
Yeah.
You got to put some safety, in this whole formula of life so you can balance,
Right.
which goes back to what I was talking to you about. How do you check back in to yourself? Do you sit with the Bible? Do you sit with your body in some kind of physical activity, right? Running, walking. Do you take that time so your body can breathe, right?
Yeah.
Do you sit with your mentor and say, hey, I'm at this bridge of nothing. Okay.
Mm.
What do you do? What normally happens here? And are you okay with him saying nothing?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're moving so much that we think nothing is a problem.
Yeah. And you got to be okay with being still sometimes.
It's all right.
And To answer your question, you got to get to a place. For me, it's a struggle every day, but getting to a place of peace in my mind, my heart, and my body. You know what I'm saying? And then pushing myself every single day to be a better person, because thankfully we have a group, to where I can check in with you, you can check in with me. And I also have another accountability partner to where I could check in with him. He checks in with me. Some people don't have, and then of course we have this, which, like I keep saying, it's beyond a blessing to be able to come here and to just spill it out.
Yeah.
It might not make sense sometimes, but it's getting out, so that's healing.
Correct.
Sometimes some people just need to scream, cry, get a hug, whatever, but they need to be able to let it out, and that leads me to my question I was going to ask you, because you've been hitting on a lot of good stuff. What do you do, or what do you tell the people out there that doesn't have a safe space, that doesn't have those accountability partners, and that is struggling, like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to find my happiness at, because like I said, we struggle every day, so, but we do have each other. We do have a group of people to lean on. So what is your advice from your experience that you want to give somebody out there that is struggling, that says, like, I need some help throughout life to get up out of bed every day and to have that push? It's like, I need to find my own happiness. What is your advice to people out there that is struggling, that doesn't have a base? You know what I'm saying? You and I have a solid friendship and a solid relationship to where I could check in with you. You could check in with me. Accountability partner. I have another accountability partner. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I check in with him. He checks in with me, and he pushes me every day. Sometimes y'all be sending me texts and I'll be like, yo, I wish these dudes just leave me alone. But at the end of the day,
hell no, I ain't leaving your ass alone.
But at the end of the day, that's what I need.
Yeah,
because sometimes we get into this sunken place, and it's like, I don't know how. It's kind of like quicksand. You get stuck in quicksand, you ain't moving. And I get stuck in that sunken place, and I'm like, you get comfortable. You sink on in. You just
sitting there.
You're just sitting there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Seriously,
Right.
And that's how some people are living through life. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't have anyone to turn to. They don't know where to go. So what would be your advice from your personal experience for people out there that are struggling to find their purpose, to find their happiness, just to get up and go?
Well, I got a couple of things to say to that. All right, because now that I've been through it, and I still go through it, I just know how to manage it now.
Right.
We'll take it step by step.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing is that when something tragic happens to you, you get hit, you experience what? Pain.
Yeah.
Right? Pain, right, is a result, and on your part, you're going to express it in some kind of pain or actually emotion, in anger, and you're going to say you're hurt. Correct? Right. So you have to nurture that. Right. And you have to get the anger out.
Right.
You get where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna walk through this one by one.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get your heart broken, you're gonna have some pain, and you're gonna be mad. You're gonna lie about her a little bit. I say, I'm gonna say some stuff about you and your mama. Okay. I need to get it out.
Right.
It's not, So you have to put yourself in a place to identify these first two things.
Yeah.
If you skip a step, you'll be back. That's how the devil works. Okay. So pain, ouch, whatever expression, get it out, okay? Anger, which is the second part to this pain, right? It's probably not the good side of you, right? It's the logic aspect, right? Trying to make up something.
Yeah.
I said, my mom always says this, everybody, and you see, I'm talking like Donald Trump now, everybody has a little, No, she says, everybody, we all have a beast in us.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how you tame the beast.
Right.
Okay? So putting that beast to work in something that's for you is finding something that can bring that body down. Okay? So I work out. I go walk. I go run, right? That's what brings that thought process down and bring me back to a logical point, right? The third part now is talking about, is processing the problem that happened.
Right.
Okay? Meaning, I need you to get it out. Don't get it out when the emotion is just high.
Right.
take the time, you talk and I'll listen.
Yeah.
I always say there's the first day of you talking, you're going to talk and talk and talk. And then eventually I'm going to talk.
Right.
Right? Get it out. After you've gotten to a certain point, then will I be able to give you I'll start with 1 advice and then 2 advice and then 3. And then guess what? Now it'll become a conversation.
Right.
Okay. 4, start to surround yourself. And it's the hard part of surrounding yourself is that now that you can talk about the problem and it's not controlling where you put yourself, because sometimes we become the continuation of the issue that we're currently having.
Oh, that's good.
We become the continuation, meaning that we have experienced pain, right? And so because we're hurt, we're using the hurt emotion to reflect the pain, right, into other things. And other people, as they counsel us, can see the same issue that we went through now in us.
Let me pause you there. Do you think people keep that cycle going because it's like a temporary fix? It's a feel-good moment?
Man, come on now.
You know
I expect you to punch something. I expect you to insult somebody.
Yeah.
I expect you to say things that aren't true.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, we'll just say sex. Sex feels good in that moment, but if you got a sex addiction, is it always going to feel good every single time?
So let me ask you this, right? And it's not, because guess what? It's not matters of the heart. At a certain place, you only deal with the heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the mind.
Yeah.
It's the heart. If the heart stops, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? Your body can be alive, right? But your brain can still be trying to function, right? So you get where I'm going with it? Okay. So you can, when you're talking to somebody, right, who is solid and has a reference board, right? Meaning like some place of like a Bible or something that's a real reference. That's all they're going to talk to you from.
Yeah.
They understand within minutes that you're just going through it. But guess what? It's not the story. It's the ear that you need right now.
Yeah.
We got to bring you down. And there's no number on those days. So I can say, be like, hey, you can always call me. What is counseling? What is it? You can always go. They don't tell you got 4 days and that's it, unless you didn't pay. But you got to bring the emotions down. Once you've brought the emotions down, one thing you'll learn is that just how you came into the problem is more likely how you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you came in with a logical standpoint and accusation, right? You're going to accuse yourself at the end of putting yourself in the problem, right? Let go of that emotion, that lie that you did with yourself. Right? And the minute you do, it's when you're going to start being open to more stuff.
That's powerful.
That's it. So most of the times, all of my failures, all the things that I fell short of, right? I know where I opened the door. If I dated a woman that was not up to par with my standards, I opened too much emotional. She came in, I let her in with everything, right? She broke my heart, right? So, right, I forgot my morals, right? And then I went to complain about it. I got hurt. I was the one that was the emotional one who was connected or like highly into her. She wasn't as much, into me. And guess what? On the way out, she took the same door, right? You ever heard this situation? If you stole somebody or stole a girl, right, from a guy, that's just how you're going to lose that girl in the end. It's very true. But a lot of our problems in life, it's like that. When you're leaving a problem, more than likely you can see the points of which you need to work on yourself. But you just got to identify it and you got to be willing to do the work. You literally have to say it to yourself. So my advice would be go through those steps first to get yourself to a place where your mind and your heart can receive information. The steps that I gave earlier.
Say that again.
Go
that
through
receiving part. That's key.
Yeah, we could talk all day. We could preach. This podcast could go on for 67 months, right? And we can have not a damn thing accomplished. Right? We could sit here and cry all we want, right? We could sit here and listen to 8 million postings on Facebook, Instagram, and Momogram. Okay? Right? At the end of the day, if you're not ready to receive it, by going through, letting the emotion out and making room, you got to make room. Right? And it's okay to say, I don't have the capacity to now. We don't admit that. I don't have to. Look, When was the last time you told a good friend of yours no? You don't.
Yeah.
Because you think you're super dad or
Yeah.
superhuman.
I have a hard time saying no already.
Exactly. Men, women, we are. And we do it emotionally. So
Yep.
guess what we do? We let people down.
Yeah.
And we sit in our cars like, damn, I know this was due, but I'm trying to make it, but I'm out with the family, but I this and that, but. Instead of saying, hey man, if I know your character, I know your no means, look, I don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
So I just can't do it right now. But trust me, I got you in mind. You've already planted the seed. A verbal message is just a seed,
Right.
right? And it will be success through God's doing with your heart.
Yeah.
That means that the minute an opportunity come up, it'll be like, oh, well, Dax said he wanted. Call Dax. That's how life is. It's literally that simple.
Yeah.
But we make it complicated. We take on the emotion of the person.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I've
So-
been there plenty of times.
Yeah. So when life happens, you put certain, like Tyrell said, if you know this is your gateway to letting people down, do this enough and you will see depression. You will see a deep pool
Yeah.
that you can't, the minute you realize you're in a, they're like, yeah, you swimming. Oh yeah, it's 30 feet down. Look down. No, it changes everything. Now you're scared,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
In order to take that fear away, is to take the emotion away.
Yeah.
It's to bring the emotion to a balanced place.
Yeah.
So that would be my first advice. My second half advice would be, hey, when you're dating, I've heard this, and I'll use this as an example, right? I'll ask you this question to go into it. Would you rather be with a woman who slept with 1,000 men, right? Right?
Mhm.
Or going out on 1,000 dates, but slept with 2 men?
Oof. That's a good question. Ooh.
Because your choice, right, is truthfully based upon your morals.
Yeah.
So, long story short, until that emotion is balanced, right, and you get some people in your life by going out
Mhm.
and saying, this is who I am. You want to find out who you are? Refer to the kid in you. That person will tell you what you like. You find that kid in you, right? And guess who molds it into an adult? Mentor,
Yeah.
right? And when you get mentors, they'll tell you where your foundation is at. That's how you go about dating.
And I think that's where it all starts, is having a foundation.
That's it.
You can't build a house on top of sand or dirt. You
Yeah.
know? So building a foundation is what's going to help you get through all of this stuff.
That's it.
Detoxing yourself from all the junk that's in your life, whether that's social media, drugs, alcohol, sex, lies, whatever, you know? And then, like you said, build it from there.
Build it from there. You're at a good place in life when you can apply active service, right, without expectations, because you just want somebody to be happy.
Mhm.
We're living in society today where active service, right, is something that's viewed, even here in where we live, right, as you always want something back.
Yep. And people don't, I know we've talked about that the last couple episodes, but you don't see anyone just doing something just to do it.
I do.
I know you do. I know you do. But then when you see it, it's like, damn, what you want?
Right.
What do you want from me? You know? So it's like, you're always hesitant to even trust someone. So then it's like a trust issue. Is this person really have my back? You know? For real. So then it's just a trickle effect of everything, you know? So you got people question you then. But active service is huge, man. And I don't think a lot of
Bro,
people
active-
genuinely know how to do it anymore without
Yeah.
wanting something in return.
Active service can save your life, right? It can take you from not stressing, which can kill you. A dollar bill, right? It's not more important than active service.
Yeah.
Okay? You can have all the money in the world and still commit suicide,
Mhm.
right? When you really truthfully are fulfilled, right? Active service is like you saving a child from falling off a bridge.
Right.
You gave that child service. So guess what? It makes you happy.
Mhm.
So why wouldn't I want to do anything to make you happy?
Yeah.
If you sold a show, great. I want you to win, right? If you needed $1 and I wanted you to eat, that's the point. That's why I always say you're at a bad place, right? When you are cycling like this, right? And there's so many addictions, but they're always tied into your 5 senses.
Yeah.
that's it. That's the end. That's where the devil gonna find you.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So we're gonna boil this down. We're gonna wrap it up. Have a balance in your life.
Yep.
Having a foundation.
Yep.
And being open to receive at the end of the day, because
get some mentors.
And mentors.
Get some mentors. Get some people who've seen life before you that look like what you want to be.
Yeah.
You need to dream the right way.
Yeah.
Some of us dream. We dream wild and we have great dreams. Some of them, you don't want your wife to wake you up when you're dreaming. But at the end of the day, right, to sit down, you're supposed to dream and talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to straighten up.
Dissect it out.
Dissect it out and make sense. Correct. Yeah. Right. That's the only thing, man. Love gives you patience. That's what it is. So these times of this conditioning, you're not twitching. I got to do something. Right. I got to do something. That's it.
Yeah. I love it. For anyone out there that, that's struggling just like we struggle every single day. And that's what we had this conversation for today. This is just me checking in on my brother.
That's it.
Because a lot of times we don't have someone that checks in on us. Mm-hmm. We don't have someone that says, "How you doing today?"
That's it.
Do you need a hug? Do you need to talk? So that's what this was about today. And remember, like we always tell you, you have someone to lean on. You got us here. This is a safe space for real. This isn't
it's not a play.
It's not a play.
People talk the way they talk, and they talk any way they want on this show. Whatever you feel, it's appropriate.
For real. And I always tell everybody, because when we talk about this outside of, people are always like, is this for me? No, it is. Mm-hmm. It 100% is. This isn't just a hobby of ours. This isn't just something, to try to get rich or anything like that. No, this is real life. This is my therapy session. Every week when we come in, this is a real life therapy session for me. Just because we talking about the stuff doesn't mean that I'm not receiving any of it as well.
That's true.
But
every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
But for our listeners out there, keep your head up, keep pressing.
Yeah.
Know that life gets better. No matter what situation you're in, life gets better. Find something that you love to do, whether that's read, write, work out, cook, eat, travel. Find something that you love to do and make it your own. Create that foundation for it and build up from there. If you're struggling with something, find a partner, someone that can keep you accountable, that you can lean on. We need each other in life. And a lot of times, I think we hesitate to acknowledge that. I know, especially as men, for a long time, I was in that sunken place, extremely comfortable with not having any support, and that can kill you.
Amen.
That can take you out.
You were successful at being unsuccessful.
Oh yeah, I was the number one champ. Forget success. Hey. I was the ring leader. But reach out if you have a support team. If you have people around you that you can lean on and trust in, reach out and ask for support. And like I said, Safe Space is always here. And as always, my brother, I love having these conversations with you.
Hey, man, that's it. We got a lot more to go. We even started talking about some of the other stuff yet, dissecting the small stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dating. Why my man Matt, our producer, he the man. Like, he's known in the blocks. This white boy got game. Y'all got to meet him.
Yeah, we're going to hit on some real interesting topics very soon. So, but...
Yeah, Pimp of the City Matt. He's coming through. We're going to see him. Yep. That's it. I'm going to get you for this one, Matt. Yeah.
Anyways, on that note, we're going to close it out. Thank you guys for tuning in today. What else you want to drop, my brother?
Let me just add this, man. Hey, remember to smile. Remember to give and remember to smile and remember to say, if you're not okay, it's all right. Give somebody the chance to laugh with you and kind of listen to your pain and get you to an authentic smile. It means so much to the person you actually are. That's the first sign of the open door.
Yep.
If you can smile, nothing in this world is worth it like that. Okay. The house, the money, the cars, the kids, anything, nothing happens without you.
Yep.
Right. So it's okay. And believe it or not, just when it feels like it's the last, you can't do any better and your life is falling apart, I promise you this, everybody found God in just about the same place.
Yeah.
That's what I can say against everything on Instagram.
I love it.
I love it, man. Appreciate you.
Too, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out next time.
Yeah, so, peace.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Please be sure to like, share, and comment on all of our social media platforms.